Some of the most important lessons you'll ever learn in life won't come from books, videos, or other people. They'll come from the moments when you're completely on your own, when you're struggling and there's no one around to guide you. Because that's when you find out who you really are. If you learn to face those moments instead of avoiding them, they can completely change your life. So, here are 12 challenges you must learn to face alone. First, observe your own habits like a stranger. Imagine you're watching your life from the outside, the way a stranger would. Would you respect the way you spend your time? Would you admire your daily habits? Most people are great at spotting bad habits in others, but terrible at recognizing them in themselves. Sometimes the habits you're defending are the very habits holding you back. Second, spend 1 hour consuming nothing. For 1 hour, consume absolutely nothing. No music, no videos, no scrolling. Just your own thoughts. Because the moment the noise disappears, your insecurities and regrets start speaking. The things you're constantly trying to escape are often the things you need to face the most. Third, make a hard decision without asking anyone. At some point, you have to decide what kind of life you want to live, what you want to become, and what you're willing to sacrifice to get there. Nobody can make that decision for you. Not your friends, not your family, not the internet. The hardest part is that you'll never be 100% sure you're making the right choice. But that's what makes it your decision. Fourth, keep going when nobody's watching. Everyone loves a comeback story. Nobody talks about the lonely months that created it, the rejection, the failures, the days when you wanted to quit. The real test is whether you can keep going when nobody is clapping, nobody is watching, and nobody knows how hard you're trying. Fifth, eat alone in public. For many people, this feels uncomfortable. Not because eating alone is difficult, but because the moment you sit alone, you start wondering what other people think of you. The truth is, most people are too busy thinking about themselves. The moment you become comfortable being alone in public, you stop needing other people's presence to feel confident. Sixth, outgrow certain people. Not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay. Some people help you grow, others keep you stuck. One of the hardest lessons to learn is that loyalty and attachment are not the same thing. Holding on to people who constantly drain your energy doesn't make you loyal. Sometimes moving forward requires leaving certain people behind. Seventh, be willing to be misunderstood. People won't understand your goals, your boundaries, or the person you're trying to become. Not because you're wrong, but because they're looking at life through a completely different lens. Everyone sees the world through their own experiences, fears, and beliefs. Sometimes being misunderstood is simply the price you pay for growing into someone new. Eighth, say no without explaining. Most people don't struggle to say no. They struggle to disappoint other people. So they explain, they justify, they search for a reason that sounds acceptable. But every unnecessary explanation is often just a request for approval. The moment you realize that no doesn't need a defense, you stop living your life around other people's expectations. Ninth, write one honest page you'd never show anyone. Open a blank page, set a timer for 10 minutes. Write without stopping. Don't edit. Don't try to sound smart, just write. Most people spend their lives hiding the truth from themselves. The moment you stop censoring your thoughts, patterns begin to appear. 10th, sit with a question instead of racing to solve it. Most people panic when they don't have answers, but not every question needs an immediate answer. Some answers can't be searched online, copied, or borrowed from someone else. You have to sit with them. If you give your mind enough space, it will often find the answer on its own. 11. Start again from zero. Starting over is one of the hardest things you'll ever do, not because you're building something new, but because you're leaving something familiar behind. The version of yourself you've become comfortable being. Most people stay stuck because they rather hold on to a familiar life than risk an unfamiliar one. Sometimes the life you want begins the moment you're willing to leave the old one behind. 12. Take 100% responsibility for your future. Life isn't fair. Some people hurt you. Some people leave scars that take years to heal. But none of it changes who's responsible for your future, because no matter what happened yesterday, your next move is still your choice. The day you stop looking for someone to save you is the day you become dangerous.